Dear explorers, welcome once again to Efecto Cascada. In this podcast, we dive into the forefront of innovation, share insights from entrepreneurs, and uncover cascade funding opportunities. As you all know, in each episode, we try to explore the latest trends into the digital stream, the arts, audiovisual sector, video games, and basically this synergy between arts and technology. So today we're coming at you from the very heart of creativity, technology, and transformation, SLUSH Helsinki 2024. And honestly, it's a great pleasure to be your host for today's episode because, well, I've been given the opportunity to come all the way from Pamplona to Helsinki, Finland. So, yeah. So, in this special episode, we're turning the spotlight on the ever-evolving world of cinema and film production. So, get ready to explore how our next guests are transforming and shaping the future of cinema through technology. So, stay tuned for the next insights that are just gonna blow your mind. You ready? Let's dive in. All right, explorers, so welcome once again. Today I'm joined here by Jyri Kähönen, an international filmmaker and CEO of Mindbend. So with a career focused on revolutionizing film industry, Jyri is leading the charge in transforming cinema through technology. But without further ado, let's get started. So hello, Jyri, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm fine. It's great to be here in SLUSH with you. So
Definitely.
please tell us how's your experience so far here in SLUSH? Because you've been pitching, right?
Yeah, I actually this is my first day. I took part in some side events yesterday, but this is my first day in actual venue, and it started. I had a good start because I had a pitch at the AI Finland's showcase this morning at 9:10, and we even had some attendance. First there was very little people, but when I started pitching, actually people started pouring in. So in the end, we had a nice crowd, and I think it went well. So I'm happy with the start.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, happy for you to have this opportunity.
Yeah.
So could you introduce yourself a bit to the audience and maybe share a bit about your background?
Definitely. So I'm a filmmaker by background. I've done many shows for international streamers. I did a show called Border Town in Finland a while back, which was the first Finnish show acquired by Netflix.
Oh, wow.
And then I did an international show for HBO in South Africa in 2019. It's called Trackers, based on Dion Meyer's novel, and that got a worldwide distribution as well on HBO. And then I've done a lot of other stuff, but I think those are the biggest landmarks maybe in my career. And now, as you mentioned, I'm also the founder and CEO of a company called Mindbend, and we are doing Cinematech. We are doing generative AI tools for professional film production with my brilliant teammates, co-founders.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to check those movies and shows out, Netflix and HBO. So audience, make sure to follow Jyri so that you won't miss anything. And regarding Mindbends, well, can you explain further on what's it all about? Because Cinematech, how does this work?
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's good to understand firstly that film production of film cinema is a very sort of technological art form or medium, and I think always the biggest creative breakthroughs have been somehow associated with the technological breakthroughs as well. Thinking about there's been many transformations in how films are produced, starting from invention of sound, and that completely transformed the medium from a silent cinema to something where you can express yourself with sound as well. Invention of color, digitalization as the last one. Now maybe the last thing that has had a big effect how films are made are drones. Everybody's using drones nowadays, and you see all these top shots done with drones. So technology affects filmmaking to the most extent, and I think at the moment we are on the verge of maybe the biggest transformation so far, which is obviously associated with generative AI.
So what actually inspired you to create Mindbend?
Well, I think that's the point. Me as a filmmaker, and as I mentioned, I think many of the creative breakthroughs are associated with technological breakthroughs. So for me as a filmmaker, what inspires me are the opportunities, the creative possibilities that new technologies bring with them. And definitely Gen AI is one of the biggest transformations, as I said, and I definitely want to be in the vanguard of using that in a creative, productive fashion.
Actually, linking this with the next question, I'm very curious. What's your opinion on balancing artistic storytelling with the integration of advanced technologies? Do you think that one ever risks overshadowing the other?
Well, yeah, I think there is a, from creative point of view, there might be a risk that, if you focus too much on the technology, because, the story is what people are interested in, identifying with the characters and, identifying with the situations. That's what film is about. It's about emotions. And if you go too deep in the tech and you take sort of a technical approach, you may obviously go on a wrong track. So I think it's a very good question with balancing, how to balance me as a, working for the tech company as well, how to balance the creative side and the sort of the technological side. And but I think that's one of the core ideas of our company, that we want to do both. We want to use the tools we are creating, and by using them we will find the pain points, the challenges with the technology, and thus we can drive the technological innovation. And when we invent the new tools, we can again drive our creative goals, our creative processes further. So I think it's a sort of we want to create a virtuous cycle of innovation where creating content serves creating new technology and vice versa.
Do you think that your experience with filmmaking has shaped throughout the years your vision for this technological approach that you want to?
Yeah, I think, the thing with, if you ever visit a film set, you will be astonished how smooth machine it is. It's really finely tuned organization. Everybody knows what they are doing, and it's a pleasure to look when professionals work, because it's so sort of it's so focused, and and I don't think there are big problems in how films are produced today. The technology that we have today, it serves that structure very well. The thing is that it's very costly. The Hollywood budget,
sure.
it's sort of uneven, it's hard to break into. There are many sort of gatekeepers, and there are many hurdles to cross before you can start directing films. And what really inspires me is sort of the democratizing effects of new technologies. With Gen AI, Gen AI is going to level the play field between the small indie players, aspiring new filmmakers, and the big studios, because now all the small players are going to have tools that they can match with the big players. So I think that's a big inspiration for me, is to sort of empower creators. We don't want to automate film production or storytelling. We want to empower the creators, the filmmakers. We want to give them the best tools available. So that is
That's
what
awesome
inspires me.
that your goal is not to, well, profit along this technology, but like accompany all sorts of creators and
Exactly,
try to
yeah.
economize the industry.
Yeah,
right?
obviously we want to build a sustainable business as well. But but the idea behind it is to empower the creators, give them the tools.
How do you see Mindbend in the next 5 years, for example?
Well, we definitely want to be catering for the top-notch filmmakers, to provide them with the best tools, best processes and workflows available, and work with the big studios and big names in the industry. But at the same time, what I'm most excited about, as I mentioned, is the capability to empower the aspiring new filmmakers to challenge the establishment of the film industry.
Yeah,
So,
that's a new way of revolution in the film
exactly.
industry.
Yes.
And do you think, Jyri, you could share some projects that you're actually working with?
Yes, I
Or
think
is it
yeah, it's I can give an idea. There we have our pilot project with Mindbend is a project that I'm working with. It's a TV drama, international TV drama about a diving accident.
All right.
It's based on true events, and we at Mindbend are going to to create the underwater environments for the show.
Okay, and Jyri, do you have any advice to give to filmmakers or creative professionals who are eager to get themselves into the film industry nowadays?
Yes, regarding the technology, I think, obviously be open to change, adapt the new tools available, but there's also very much noise in the market. So what I think you should think about and consider, what do you want to achieve with the tools? What are your creative aims? What is the story you want to tell? And then pick those tools, those means that serve you best, and learn to use those methods. So it can be traditional filmmaking. You can go to the other extreme, adapt all the new tools, probably somewhere in between. But it's all up to your or a question of your goals and aims, and what do you want to achieve, and that is the sort of the best sort of way to judge which tools you or which approach you should take to your
Yeah, I totally
creative process.
agree. Yeah, and even I'd say that applies to every other creative field.
Exactly.
Because you gotta have an open mind, but always don't miss your print, right? Because
Yes,
that's what
right.
makes you unique. All
Exactly.
right, Jyri, so we've reached the last section of the episode.
Oh, I'm nervous about this.
Here's a bit of a game. So first, you're gonna have to answer a question from the previous
Yeah.
guest, and then you'll have the power in your hands, so you can deliver.
Throw the ball to the next one. Yeah, okay, cool.
All right, so your question comes from Holly Hudson. She actually has an independent gaming design studio called Studio Morgan. And she asks you, is there anything you do, like a habit or routine that keeps you motivated on your work?
Well, definitely, I think it's not about motivation. It's more about releasing stress. I do a lot of sports. I run a lot. I hit the gym quite often. That's the way I keep my. It's not about actually about the physical thing. It's more about your mental thing. And
For sure.
I think running for me is like meditating. So, but I'm getting old and my feet don't get so much. Can't endure so much as they did, so I've had to take that a bit down. But anyways, I do a lot of sports.
Sports. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. You gotta get out the studio and just get around.
Exactly.
And what's your question for the next one?
Well, it's sort of similar, but in a sense, it's also opposite. I'm an avid reader. I love to read books, and that I maybe even read more books than I watch TV. And the next guest, I would be really happy to know what would be the one book if I want to learn about his or her industry. What would be the book that I should read?
That's a good one because, well, one thing's your professional life and then your personal life, right?
Yeah,
What are you
exactly.
taking from your actual identity to apply to your work?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the next guest has
Yeah.
in mind. Okay, so lastly, if you want, you can give us a fun fact and a piece of advice.
Yeah, the fun fact maybe, I don't know if it's fun, but I launched my film career when I was 13. I directed my short film, and it was called Bandidos, an adventure larger than life. And that was the first film I made on VHS. And it actually won the youth film competition of the Finnish Broadcasting Company. So that's how I got.
That's awesome. So you started your career
Yeah,
high.
exactly, from the top, and it's been a sort of downward spiral. Then not really, but yeah, that was the first thing I made.
Is this short still out there?
No, I hope not. I definitely hope not. Sorry.
So please don't check it out.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have any other piece of advice?
Oh,
I
I
think
don't know.
we
Just
already did.
yeah, exactly. Embrace the change and be open to it,
For
and be
sure.
true to yourself.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you very much, Jyri, for your time. It was great to have you here and share all about your projects, Mindbend, and your background. So thank you for sharing your time with our innovators. And well, we'll see you around.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
All right, explorers, so
Hello,
welcome
everybody.
once again to Efecto Cascada. Today we're here with Oliver Simon at SLUSH 2024 Helsinki. and he's going to be the one talking today here. All right, so Oliver Simon is an entrepreneur, writer, and producer with a rich background in both the film and gaming industries. He's the driving force behind K5 Factory, and Oliver is redefining the landscape of transmedia storytelling by blending film, gaming, and immersive experiences. So, how are you, Oliver? Welcome.
Thanks a lot. It's always a great pleasure being at a conference like this because it's so enabling ideas and you meet people who are also running around with many ideas and concepts and only exchanging with each other is just already of great help.
Definitely, I agree. So, could you please introduce yourself and share a bit about your background to the audience?
Okay, first of all, thanks a lot for your generous introduction. So the other driving force behind K5 Factory is my partner Thomas Wagner, who joined 4 years ago. And since then, we achieved totally different heights than before. And the initial idea was my last film I produced, Anon, by Andrew Niccol, with Clive Owen, Amanda Seyfried, and
Wow.
the script from this very visionary director, writer-director, Andrew Niccol, who did also Gattaca, In Time, Lord of Wars. He wrote Truman Show. And if you ask me, we're all living in this Truman Show right now already. And in this film is already many AR elements. So it's about transparency, that we don't have any anonymity anymore. So what led us to thinking of basing a game on this and prolonging narration, that was the initial idea, bring the two together.
All right. So, is it some sort of um, criticism, or you're bringing the question of ethics when it comes to applying AI in your latest production?
I wouldn't go that far. I think it's a great. There are great AI tools out there. It just depends on how we are going to use them. And for me, one of the best summaries is yes, you can walk on foot, but you can also take the bike. And AI tools, if you know how to implement them, also in our work as producers, as filmmakers, as creatives, it can make your own work even better, but it shouldn't be the only part. So it still needs the human touch.
Yeah, always without losing your essence, right?
Exactly.
All right, Oliver. So, what first ignited your passion for storytelling, and how did you somehow blend it with filming and gaming?
um, I believe the first initiation was my grandmother telling us kids stories. And I thought that's always so interesting, entertaining. It captures you. It keeps you concentrated, keeps you in a good mood. It just does so many aspects. So it educates you at the same time. It entertains you, and this always has been a combination I adore the most. So not only making hardcore films without entertaining,
Right.
but also not purely commercial films without a second floor and narration lying beneath this. And from film to gaming, to prolong the film storytelling, the film storytelling.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, it's a very interesting profile because I would have never thought that these worlds can combine each other so perfectly.
They're
So
moving closer and closer.
we would have to check your work. Can you share with the audience where can we check your projects and so on?
So from the film side of things, is the last one I produced. The company produced a couple of afterwards, but I was concentrated on, or I'm still on the factory side. So it's Anon by Andrew Niccol. Before that, another film we are very proud of is Land of Mine by Martin Zandvliet. I love The Reluctant Fundamentalist by Mira Neer, Patterson from Jim Jarmusch. So those are all films we were involved in. And that are very important to us in our work.
All right.
And from the games and gamification side of things, experience side of things, we have a great experience with Banksy, his Waldorf Hotel in Bethlehem called the Waldorf Hotel. We have a game, Labyrinth Deluxe, which is also out there. And now a very big project and fascinating, because we created, in my opinion, the first really functioning omniverse or metaverse. As we picked the Oktoberfest, the most best known fun fair in the world, and virtualized it. So you can go in there, you can enter the Oktoberfest virtually, and you can play all the games. Because they are physics games. You throw the ball, or you go the roller coaster, and you feel it.
Oh, wow.
So don't go there when you didn't do it before in reality. So
That's great because actually lots of people in Europe want to go to Oktoberfest, so they will have the.
it's, I mean, the main,
chance.
the target group is also for us in the US and in Asia, but also very important to us. Also for the people in Munich who cannot go there, who are not able, be because they're ill, be because it's too expensive,
Right.
and if you want to pass by, you can still put the glasses on while you're here.
Okay, yeah, for
And
sure.
have a stroll. If you haven't been there, you should do this.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. All right, so K5, please tell us the essence of this company and what it essentially does.
So K5, before K5, we started also as a group of writers. So the nucleus of K5 is storytelling, is knowledge about script writing, script development. Because we always said, if you do not understand the nucleus of a product, you don't know how and where to go. Then making international films that can travel and that communicate. We see ourselves not only as filmmakers, but also as diplomats, as ambassadors, ambassadors for our beliefs, being European, and believing in so many aspects like free speech, freedom of choice, and all this. So that's, I think, the core. Content-wise, technique-wise, we are always trying to be ahead of our time in terms of, because we are always meeting people on all the marketplaces, festivals.
Right.
How can we elevate our craft, and how can we use, be it AI or be it virtual production, what we are into now, how can we elevate our craft and make films, lower the budgets and maintain the quality, and how can we do this? So that's what we're working on right now.
And coming from an expert like you, are you excited about any new technologies in this domain that can, well, break once again the idea of storytelling in the next 5 years, for example?
I'm very curious, and I'm very hopeful that this will still be very human, and it's not over technicized. As I said before, as long as we know how to implement AI and what we use from all the possibilities, we can really only profit from this. What is really interesting with the technique is what we are developing right now at the company, virtual production wise, that you can go in so many different spheres and worlds without having to create them and then destroy them afterwards after having filmed them.
Right.
You don't have to travel the entire planet or to Mars. So there are many opportunities lying ahead. And the challenge will be to find the right balance, to find the equilibrium between the technique and the human aspects.
Right. Without losing our human essence, right? Which
Our
is what,
humans, yeah, human touch, human essence, our beliefs, yes.
yeah, I agree. All right, and now that you told us these future opportunities, where do you see yourself, your projects, and K5 in the next years?
The idea of setting up K5 factory was also that seeing that film and game moves closer and closer together. Um, to be able to have games that look like films and films that are interactive like games. So there will be one point where they will meet, and we would love to be already having done our homework at this spot when it is come to this time.
Okay, so we've come to the last part of the episode, and now there's a bit of a fair game. So you're gonna be asked a question from the previous guest, and then
Okay.
you'll be the one raising a question for the next one.
Okay.
Okay, you
Okay.
ready?
Okay.
So actually, your question comes from Mikko Martikainen, okay, from Spoonful, and it's funny because his question is strictly related to what we've talked about throughout the whole podcast,
Okay.
which is, do you think that all the technological advancements, especially in AI, are gonna avoid the human part someday, or they will try to keep it stable?
A good question. Thank you for that. Totally easy question. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that there will be one day only robots and no humanity left. I think before that, we all will be gone. But it's going to be a different life, and I'm very curious to at least see some of it. The humanoids and how you may see this all. I tend to believe, I want to believe that it's still many, many years ahead.
Still for that
Yes.
revolution.
To happen. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yes.
But I mean, we never know if in that afterlife we're gonna be able to check what's going on here, right?
We meet again in 50 years, and I'm the younger and you're the older one. I mean, who knows?
Our souls, I mean, they are eternal. All right, and Oliver, do you have a question for the next guest?
When you were talking about challenges and what are the challenges facing, I'd like to hear from the next guest, and please send it when he answers the question.
I will.
If there's any decision he or she regretted, and if so, why, and which one was it?
All right. A bit of a gossip there. We'll see.
No, not the gossip part, just the entrepreneurial part.
Okay, we can always learn from our mistakes, right?
And that's the most
Challenges.
important, to be talkative, communicative, and go to places, venues like this, and exchange your ideas, your thoughts, your doubts. We can only profit from each other, and I don't believe in everyone only working for himself, herself. It's it doesn't make any sense in my opinion.
We're humans, and we're all
We need to communicate.
going through this rough path of life.
And to grow and
we need
elevate
to share.
ourselves, it's key.
Right, and just to finish, would you like to share a fun fact about yourself?
Now that it's taken from me,
Go ahead.
it's that I tend to speak more with my hands than with my voice, and without this, I don't know how much you saw, but I hope you understood what I was saying.
Understood.
Mainly.
All right, Oliver. So thank you very much for taking your time.
Thanks for
spend
having
this
me.
little time with us.
Thanks for the invite.
And it was great talking with you.
And I want to hear the answer.
I'll send it to you via WhatsApp.
Okay.
All right, so this brings us to the very end of this special episode of Efecto Cascada, coming all the way to you from SLUSH Helsinki 2024. So a big thank you to all our guests who have taken their time to share their amazing backgrounds with us. Right? So remember that this podcast is available on all streaming platforms, starting from YouTube all the way to Spotify and Amazon Podcasts. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you won't miss the next story that may inspire your project, right? So until next time, explorers, let's keep captivating the fascinating world of innovation together. See you!